Happy St. Patrick's Day. Lots of news going on in the NFL. Hope you guys are rocking some green. I'm repping my Boston Celtics St. Patrick's Day Paul Pierce jersey. But wanted to make a quick video because the world is exploding with a mini blockbuster with the Denver Broncos trading a first, third, and fourth for Jalen Waddle, and a fourth, I believe, to be their new quasi wide receiver 1 or 2, which has everybody thinking that the Dolphins are in full fire sale. Who can go claim one of the only few remaining pieces of value in one Mr. Devon Achane? Achane? I don't know how to pronounce it technically, but this man needs to be in purple. Rob B needs to call up Miami, do whatever it takes. Well, not whatever it takes. Do something. Do all he can to get this man in purple. Just real briefly wanted to go over what are some comps, some values that I would pay, would be happy paying, would be, content paying for this man to be the new long-term running back 1. First order of business, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, they brought back Aaron Jones. They've got Jordan Mason. Throw that out of the equation. Aaron Jones is 31, almost 32, I believe. Jordan Mason is a 1B, a number 2 running back. Achane could come in and, if extended on a reasonable deal, which top of the market running back deals aren't cap breakers, they're manageable. Just look at like Saquon and CMC. Their record-setting deals are still 5, 6, 7 on their respective teams' cap breakdowns. But here below, this is what I would do. 18, our first rounder, and 82, our first third rounder for Devon Achane, and 30. You stay in the first round where you can still land kind of similar talent in my mind. After about pick 15, the talent drops off, hits a second or third tier through, pick like 50, 60 or so. So I would be A-okay dropping 12 picks in the first and giving our high third to land Devon Achane. Then you just go ahead and extend him. I don't think he resets the market. Probably going to need to be paid about, the fourth, fifth, third, sixth, that area, that ballpark of running backs. But he's only 24. I think he turns 25 in October. He is an absolute menace catching the ball out of the backfield. I wouldn't use him, and they don't really use him as like a workhorse running back. He gets, 200 odds some carries. I think he had 1,300 yards and 6 to 8 touchdowns or so. I don't have the stats in front of me. Probably should have done that. How's that per production value? But you could just use him as your running back star. You can use him how as Miami did, but mix in a little Aaron Jones, mix in a little Jordan Mason to have an absolute stable if he was acquired. Second one I would do is 49, our mid-second round pick, and a 2027 fourth. I believe I meant that to be a third. I would do either of those for Achane. What Miami, if they're, if Achane wants out, or if he's not, going to sign long term there, they're going to be in the same boat that we are to a degree with John Grenard, where you have an asset who is a stud, who can be a focal point of your offense, in our case defense, for years to come, but he needs to be paid. So I don't think they're going to get a first outright. I think the one a lot of people are connecting are like 32, the Seahawks, just straight up for Achane. With how their roster is built, they might offer that. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see that happen. But that's why I think that topmost one would be the most appealing, because they're getting an actual legit first rounder, just by sacrificing their 30. And then the last one, just kind of spitballing some ideas here, because 18 is a weird spot in the draft. You're missing out on the Jeremiah Love. I'm not in love with the Jadarian Price and Mike Washington. Honestly, the guy we brought in or are bringing in for I think a top 30, Claiborne from Wake Forest, I prefer him to Price and Washington. I like Emmett Johnson. When an actual star is available, I'd much rather do that in what's otherwise considered a weaker running back draft class. But I would do 18. I would move completely out of the first round. but in return, I would want their second and a little, future capital of some sorts, not just a throw-in pick late day 3. I would ask for an early day 3 pick next year from them. I wanted to do a quick mock, just a real quick. What could this look like with one of these trades? In my eyes, the most realistic, the one that Miami would probably jump on the most, is that top one. Let's go with my first one, just because I want to stay in the first round in some capacity. So I'll give you 82. You give me 130. We're adjusting the trade on the fly. Let's say for the purposes of this, you're able to extend Cashman, extend Brian O'Neill, use some of that wiggle room to go ahead and bump Jonathan Grenard's salary, keep him in tow, keep him happy. What's he at, $19 million a year? Let's say we can give him a $5 million increase and then another, couple million in incentives that he can obtain. So just sort through that in your own mind and, humor me here. Pretty obvious where I want to go here. I'm going to go ahead and take the absolute best run defending nose tackle in the draft, in my opinion, in Mr. Caden McDonald. Coming down a little bit further, we don't really need to target edge because we're hypothetically bringing back Jonathan Grenard. We no longer need to go for a running back with Mr. Achane in the backfield. Ty Simpson, no. I think James Pierre, I think he could come in and be a perfectly acceptable cornerback 3. I think he's primed for a bigger role, but I also don't want to have to rely on that. So I do want to target cornerback early while also keeping in mind safety. Hopefully you can see my screen. We can zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully that helps. Safety, not too much I want to do. We're not going to overthink it. Let's take Keith Abney. He's a stud. He can go ahead and at 21 give you, a long-term future while also not having to play right away unless he impresses. I think Brian Flores would like that. We have a sharp drop off to 97 now. Back end of the third. I still need to land a center. Sam Hecht is sitting there staring at me. I can see it. This is probably a little low for him. My guess is he's a little bit closer to like these 70s. But let's just say, he's available. Or for whatever reason, he's here. Maybe the small school or small-ish school, lesser competition, gives people hesitation to draft him. But their loss is going to be our gain. I think, honestly, he could come in day one and take the starting job and not look back. At the very least, you got him who can battle with Brendel, and maybe they bring in a Lloyd Cushenberry or something like that to compete as well. But we've upgraded the trenches on defense and offense while also adding a stud for Brian Flores to mold in the defensive back room. Next here, do we just go all out and add offensive weapon after offensive weapon? We very well could. Not a whole lot of names jumping off the page to me here. Emmett Johnson, no longer need, even though that'd be pretty solid value. I believe they met with Jacoby Lane, big, tall receiver, jump ball specialist. I am actually going to go Jacoby Lane. This is a pretty good spot for him in my mind, only because I don't know. It's a mystery if Jordan Addison here is here long term. Maybe you get something from Ty Felton. Maybe they bring in a Kyler buddy in DeAndre Hopkins. But you never know. So just load up that room with as much talent as possible. That way you have options next year after, comes decision time on if you want to extend Addison, if you want to trade him, whatever the case may be. If all things go according to plan, Kyler's going to need a fat contract as well. And we've seen in Cincy that it's not the greatest way to build a roster with having a top-paid quarterback, top-paid receiver, and then a top-paid secondary receiver. So just giving ourselves options there. Taking a look here real quick. D-line, offensive line, cornerback, receiver. I want to give Flores as much help on that side of the ball as we can. I'm going to take maybe one of the highest variance tight ends. 6'7", Eli Raridan, absolute monster. He just comes with some injury some injury baggage. Luckily, with Hawk coming back, you can buy him some time to get healthy, get installed in the offense, and maybe you have a new Kyle Rudolph-esque Golden Domer holding down the spot. But at the very least, you're getting some options. You're having a really high floor tight end 3. Come in, battle with Jurasic, and just go from there. So we're going to go ahead and take Eli, and then going way down to pick 195 before our 3 7th rounders. My honest hope is that we just focus on defense on day 3. Just bring as many flyers, as many lottery ticket type guys as you can, just to see what will stick. Haven't added a safety yet. Wisniewski, kind of a fun safety prospect. VJ Payne has his limitations, but he's good at what he's good at. Lorenzo Styles can certainly blaze with his speed. But we're going to go with the guy who has a connection to Minnesota, who I think they met. I don't remember what it is. Senior Bowl, maybe. But bring in VJ Payne, just get some depth at safety. Maybe the Hitman's back, maybe not. But at the very least, competition brings out the best in everybody. And then 3 7th rounders. I think this is J.J. McCarthy's man. Who knows if he's the future or not. But at the very least, we do need a C.J. Ham replacement. And as far as like one of those H-back, fullback hybrids, we do need someone to come in and replace C.J. Ham. So Max Brederson, welcome on board. What else do we need here? Who knows if my hypothetical John Grenard contract fixes like a Danielle Hunter-esque 1-year Band-Aid, and we revisit a trade next year, or maybe it's a long-term fix in him and DT with a sprinkle of AVG or the future there. But let's just get some names to come in and maybe be those future-oriented rotation guys. Vincent Anthony, I don't know a whole lot about. Had a really good 2024, it looks like. He's got measurable comparable to Grenard, so I'm going to assume he can play on the edge of a 3-4. Welcome on board. Lastly, one thing I do want them to do in some capacity is bring in a quarterback. Bring in a quarterback to be quarterback 2 or 3. Carson Wentz, I'm looking at you. I don't want JJ to be just the de facto replacement for Kyler. I'm assuming, this whole offseason is assuming Kyler wins the job. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that's going to happen. But I do want like a steady vet just with Kyler's health history to come in, operate the offense, sort of what Carson Wentz did. So go ahead and throw that into my offseason prediction or simulation hypothetical. Carson Wentz is back, but I think Brosmer needs some competition as well for the practice squad guy. Taylon Green has the measurables, he's moldable. Jalen Daniels a little bit of the same, but he's a little bit older. Let's just take Taylon Green. I don't know if honestly he'll be here. His combine explosion might have him be targeted a little bit earlier as a developmental guy, but if he lasts till the 7th, let's go ahead and snag him. So there you go. You know what I want? I want Devon Achane, back to the focus of the exercise. I want him in purple. I think between Kyler, Achane, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, an offensive line that adds a Sam Hecht who can, go ahead and give you, hopefully, a pretty decent level of play at center. Lots of explosion, lots of options. You're not committing to like an Adrian Peterson bell cow because we know how O'Connell likes to get away from the run in certain aspects of the game. This way you're getting a guy who even on obvious passing or when he's pass happy can come in and give you elite play from the backfield. As far as our other running backs, Jordan Mason can be the thunder to his lightning. And by not adding, other than Jacoby Lane, another wide receiver, I really think something that could extend Aaron Jones' career would be to start playing him out of the slot or get him in movements, put him in motion and then have him go play some wide receiver. Put him a little bit more gadgety other than just a running back. But you got plenty of options. He's a stud at catching the ball as well. We've seen that. But yeah, don't use him as a traditional running back. Don't use him as you did last year and the year before. He's much more capable, and it honestly would probably save him health-wise, extend his career another year or two if you use him out wide. And Just imagine the options with it's third and 4. Kyler Murray is in the shotgun with Aaron Jones on his left and Achane on his right. You can run some RPO. You can just send the running backs out. Cinema. But let me know what you think. Do you wanna see Achane in purple in general? Do any of these trade values trip your trigger? If not, what do you think our plan is at running back? Are you pro running back in the draft? Do you like anybody outside of the Jeremiah Loves? Big stuff coming this offseason, even though free agency main waves are done. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Well, as always, if you want to see more football content, I enjoy making it in moderation. So let me know, and we'll see you later. Peace.